good night to come on. Welcome, 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 everybody. If this is your first time here, my name is James Zheng. I will be your host for today, and it's an honor to have you here. And you came on here, I'm assuming, because you heard that there was going to be a unique opportunity that was going to be shared to you to learn from some people that have not become successful just once, but multiple times, and absolute legends in this profession. They have helped many people do extremely well here as well too. And they're going to share with us today what it takes to actually succeed and why this opportunity right now. So give your hands together, whether here or virtually. But Gregg and Dr. Lenika Scott, hey, what's going on, guys? Great to see you.
Oh, Mr. James Zheng, how are you on this evening?
Oh my gosh. Doing absolutely incredible. You guys just glow all the time. I'm taking notes right there. Must be all that noni.
It's the noni, but it's God. It's a blessing, right?
Finish drinking some.
Thank you for joining
me tonight.
I'm doing so well. I'm doing so
awesome.
And it's
Becky.
She's good. Becky's doing super good. Yes. Yes. So those who don't know, my wife Becky is, and I'll tie that into our story actually. She's 4 months away from giving birth to her first child. So it's a PartnerCo baby for sure. Through. But you guys, there's so much to talk about you. And I hope everyone here is ready to take notes on this, because there are principles of success. There are secrets to success. It's one thing to do it once, it's another to do it multiple times, but they're not just successful in business. I'll have them talk about that story. I think the bigger success, who here would agree that even if you made all the money in the world, if your family is not in like in a good relationship, like it doesn't really matter, right? Who here would take your family over money all day? So what I really value about the both of you two is your amazing family. I mean, Gregg, how do you do it with 6 daughters, man?
Hey, listen, James, I do it with a lot of prayer, right? But I have to say this, though. God has definitely blessed us to have some very good daughters, some good girls. Didn't have no trouble out of any of them, right? Even though the last one gives me a little bit of trouble, but she's okay still, right? But definitely, man, we've been blessed. God blessed us with some good girls. And as everybody can see, I am terribly outnumbered.
Oh my gosh, congratulations there. And
sure.
Some of us know your story. Yeah, some of us know your story, but you've had some of us don't. So I'd love to just start with, who are the Scotts? Like, where were you guys before you were these entrepreneurial, multi-million-dollar creators and just world influencers? Like, who were you guys before?
Oh, wow. Well, Gregg Scott from North Carolina, born and raised, right? And I'm from a small rural town, grew up modest and ended up going to college, got my college degree, started working in my field, but never knew that I was going to be a part of a network marketing industry at the time. Never even dreamed it up. Matter of fact, never really even heard about the network marketing industry until I met Lenika. But we were just those guys who were making the American dream, making it happen for ourselves,
Well, at least we thought.
Okay. We thought anyway. Yeah.
Go to school, go to college, get a job, all of that. Then the kids start coming. Then they just kept on.
They kept coming.
Y'all, they just kept on coming. They didn't stop. They didn't stop.
And that was before Renew.
Yeah. Right. So I'll even go into just a little bit, James, about even my childhood, if I may.
Please.
Also, I'm a miracle baby. That's why I believe in them. I have huge faith and big belief because I was born premature. 3 pounds, dropped to 2 pounds. And my grandmother, she saw me fighting. She said she is a fighter. And so I've always been a fighter. And so my mom was a single mom. My mom used to do Amway. Wow. We would be in the van driving, packed in there, go to event conventions. And my mom had told us the year we hit millionaire status, which was 2015. She said, you remember we used to take you to the meetings and you told me when you were around 6 years old, I'm going to have a mansion one day. So I think I was always different in terms of just thinking outside of the box and also believing on the levels where other people would say, okay, that's a little strange. That's a little weird. Gregg and I met when I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
Right out of high school, entering into college, my freshman year in college. He was
I was 20.
Yeah, he was 20. I was 18.
Wow.
And we met, so we met very young. And we started our family relatively young, in our 20s.
Love at first sight? Was there a chase? What happened?
No, it was love at first sight. It was love at first sight with a little topsy-turvy in it.
There we go.
Yeah,
Can't make it too simple.
Yes,
that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good. But 4 months after meeting Gregg, I knew that he would be my husband, and so that was pretty cool. But when we, because we were young, married, and the children started to come early, I was like, I got to be at home with these children. I had such a desire to work from home. And I remember responding to an ad in a paper, work from home, and it was a network marketing company. And that was in the late 90s. And that was when and I'm trying to weave into the network marketing story so it can kind of go together. That was when I realized, I said, wow, it was Herbalife. It was another network marketing company. And so I said, okay, this is what my mom used to do. And I just, the passion grew, and in the belief as I saw the leaders that were, doing very well in the industry grace the stage and share their stories. And so throughout those years, I would learn the industry.
But that was my introduction to network marketing. Didn't grow up knowing anything about it. My introduction was my wife coming to me, telling me about an ad that she saw in the paper. Yeah. And I said, wait a minute, you got to do what to do what?
And I come home with, back then they had the boxes that you send home, the little boxes with your brochures and all of your stuff. And he's looking like, what?
I'm looking like.
And I'm like, you just spent $1. Because I was always that one that would just go for something, right? I'm the risk taker in our marriage. And so, but he saw this zeal and passion in me. And so, so then, the next few years thereafter, we would start having children. And so I would go back to work in my field, come back home. But really after baby number 5, right? I was like, I cannot do this anymore. Now that's about 10 years later. It is 2007. And I was like, I'm out of here. I am, look, bye-bye, adios, arrivederci, no more corporate America. This is not for me. We're going to find a way to make $1. We're going to figure this thing out. And that's when I got serious. And, for those of you who are all listening, because I know we kind of land a foundation, a little bit of who we are. If you don't know who we are, you got to make a decision. You have got to make a decision. And how bad do you want it? I wanted it so bad. I was like, I am not going back to work. I cannot. My baby is 5. Now we got, another child. It has got to work. If somebody else is making it happen, then so can I. Then I can find out a way, right? My mother would always say, where there's a will, there is a way. My will was so strong. My desire was so strong. My focus was so strong with the baby on my lap. And so we just dove in there. And then Gregg was like, well, you go ahead and do that while I work my real job. I will work my real job. And so even for the women up here, where you're like, how can my spouse get in here with me? How can I get them we can do this thing together? I always like to say, show him the money, honey. Yeah. Show him the money. Because as soon as Gregg saw those checks with the commas in it, now he's like, okay, what are we doing here? Let me see that compensation plan.
Yeah. So we are those people, James, that even though I didn't know about the network marketing industry, but we knew it was another way to get this thing done than a regular 9 to 5. We knew that there was something bigger. And we always had a desire for something bigger, and we knew there was something bigger for us. And so when Lenika did get started in the industry, I was there. I supported. I said, hey, go, you got it, go do it, and maybe you'll make a little money, you know. But when she really started making money, it got my attention. And so that's when we locked arms together, and we took this thing head on together, and really started to grow this thing.
And really we just made a serious decision that we were going to do it with or without anyone, that we were going to find a way to get it done through the no's, through the rejects, through the mockery, people laughing at you, saying that stuff ain't gonna work. Why you doing like we were going to do it like that. We were so sure in ourselves that this is what is going to be, right? And we will be successful in this space, that we will be successful in this industry. And I really believe that, you know, when God even speak a word to you about who you are and what is it that you're carrying, like you can't back down. You got to be about the Father's business and take the territory that he's given unto you. Now, that doesn't mean that it does not come without suffering. It doesn't mean that it doesn't come without woes. This is not a bed of roses, right? Everything is not going to be right, but you got to understand that if he's given it to you, he brought you to that door, then he's going to give you the grace, the strength, and the tenacity with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding on how to do that thing. And so, you know, our walk in this industry and our journey in this industry has also been a spirit-led journey where it is, Father, help me, show us, you know, guide us, lead us, give us the understanding that we need. How do we need to execute these strategies? What is it that you need to tell us for this particular season? And we could have asked that same question last week, you know, and then we'll be given to listen to those things that come from heaven for real, right? Then oh my God, he begins to open up so much more. And so just even with our journey and our success have come from our ability to be able to hear from God, listen to him when he say move, go, slow down, wait a minute, you need to revamp some things, you need to reset, listen. A lot of times people ain't listening, right? And we're just going. I hope I'm helping somebody. So because I gotta say, our success in this thing, right? God gets all of the glory. Of course, people, right? Which I'm quite sure we'll get into some strategies and we'll talk about that and how we even build, how we flow, how we lead. But the thing about it is, even if we don't understand why he is saying, I need you to do this, whatever this may be, for that particular season in that place, then we're moving, right? Because one of the things that we know about God, and I know you and Becky know this too, he tell you to do something, you're not going to get all of the details of why he is telling you to do it. You just begin to flow. And then you look up and say, oh, this is why he's telling you to do it. So our journey in this space has been such a spirit-led journey. Do we get it right? Have we got it all right? Absolutely no. But I can say that the reason that we have been successful in this space has been the spirit-led journey. And get this, because I'm going to shut up so you can ask the next question.
So good.
But also when he say go to work, we go to work. We're not like, okay, let me open up the door and see if the blessing is going to come in. How does the work look? The Zooms, the phone calls, the three-ways, the events, the getting in the trenches, getting on the call. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta be spirit. If he's like, call that person. All right, I'm gonna call them, and you are listening to them say, gosh, I was just praying for opportunity.
Yeah.
So just being spirit-led, taking action.
And I'm gonna be quiet. I'm not gonna go long. You know, Lenika said something. She said it's not about getting it all right. And here's the thing that prevents a lot of people from getting started is they're trying to make it perfect before they start. But perfection only comes through doing. And even in the doing, you never reach perfection because you're always getting it wrong. You know, and one of the things we find is a lot of people are scared to make that first step because they're so scared to do it wrong. But you got to do it wrong in order to learn how to do it right.
That's right.
You know, so even with Lenika and I, even on our journey in this network marketing industry, it hasn't been a perfect science, but it's been about just doing the work. And in doing the work, the truth, the reality of all of it becomes unveiled to you, right? So it's actually just getting in the trenches and getting your hands dirty and getting to it.
Gosh,
you learn by doing.
Yeah.
Yes, guys, drop some fire emojis in the chat if you're loving this. I'm telling you, you can have all the tactics in the world, you can have all the strategies in the world, but what Gregg and Lenika just shared, that's the gold. There's a term that I'm starting to use, which is because I tried it, self-help. When I got into this industry, I was not a person of faith. I tried, pulling myself by the bootstraps and working hard and hustling, and it works to a certain degree, but it's tiring, it's draining, and it's limiting. This second phase, it's been completely different because God's help is greater than self-help. And the spirit-led approach,
come on,
so much better. It's so much more fun. It's like, how is this happening?
All of the surprises that come with
that spirit-led approach takes faith, because God shows you what can be, but what can be is not unveiled or released to you until you take a first step towards it, right? But you got to take that first step towards it without even knowing how you're going to get there. That's faith.
So I want to encourage the audience right now. How do you bring this practically? I think about Lenika, when you talked to her when you were young, and said, I want a mansion. So many times what happens is we dim down our goals because we don't think it's realistic, right? We think, well, I've tried this before. I've tried another company. I've seen other people do it. I want everyone here to suspend disbelief, right? Help me with my unbelief and just believe that dream again and just suspend it there, right? As we continue in this conversation, put a me in the comments if you're willing to do that, because that's how you're going to get breakthrough through this. All right. So I want to get a little glimpse too. You guys are super humble, but you've done a lot. Like, if you could give us a little glimpse of what did the craziest times in your business look like, and this is history. This, this has been done before. It takes work, obviously, but is it worth it? Basically, like, what happened?
I would go first with one of the things, because I remember, so this was before, and then I'm not sure what Gregg was shared too, but this was when my mother was still living. Mom was living with us. And I just remember once, we started getting elevated, and this was, of course, in our prior company. We started getting elevated financially, that is. My mom was like, every single dime that y'all have made, y'all have earned every bit of it, because I have watched you guys. And this is a strategy that we've shared with our team. For those that will use it, they will see their lives change. I want you all to write this down for the brand partners that are up here. I mean, this is a strategy that we did. A lot of people will not do this, but we did it. It was grace. But I also want to say this, during the time Gregg was working. Okay. So I wanted to say this too, because a lot of times people say, oh, that's easy for you guys, but he was working. Yep. So we did a series of launching people. During that time, it was launch calls. Now we have the virtual launches, which is like a Zoom that you all are on. But 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, we were burning those lines up like 4 times a week, like 7, 8, 9, 10, so for we were doing about 4 to 5 launches a night with people. You came into the business, then you get in launch. So it was just like a work, back-to-back work. There were times when Gregg would get off from work and then went straight into the office. At that home we were renting at the time, and we just went to work and we just went in. And then on Fridays, we would be driving out of town to do the in-home meetings. Maybe we would meet in someone's house, a church, or an event in front of people. My mom was on oxygen because she had a lung condition. Gregg was literally getting his suit sweated out sometimes, getting her in and out of the car, because on the weekends we would take her with us and we would take the kids with us because we were working. But it was so wild. And we did that for 6 months straight. I mean, we did it just around the clock for 6 months. 6 months really of focus, intentional, dedicated work can really change your life. A lot of times in network marketing, in network marketing, we think we are working, but we are not. We're managing, we're in manage mode, we're busy managing people, we're busy dictating to people what they should be doing, when really in reality, we are the ones that still should be recruiting people, getting customers. When was the last time you personally signed up someone? And when was the last time that you personally got a brand new customer into your business, okay? So we were working. Y'all, yeah. Y'all getting the mommy tonight, okay? We were working. That time in our life was wild. And I remember when we looked up, we had $1 million in the bank. Yes.
Yeah. One thing that we often share with people is 6 months will change your life. But I don't think people understand the intensity of that 6 months. One thing that I will share with you guys, James, is when you start getting into that rotation and into that cycle, and you start getting down into that trench, when you're having fun, you don't even know you're in it. And it comes that time when you realize that you've been in that trench, when you finally stick your head up to take a breath of air, and you look back and be like, we do that.
Wow.
Because even that time that Lenika was talking about, while I was still working a full-time job, and this is because you said we've been through this a few times, right? Well, and we have, and God has definitely blessed us, but we were at a time too when we had our down season as well. And one of the things that I did is I made a promise between me and God. This is Lenika didn't even know about this, that before I ever put us in a predicament, we're gonna have $1 million in the bank. And so I was working during that time that Lenika talking about we was in the trench. I was still working full time. And you got to know it's hard working full time when you're sitting at work seeing $20,000, $30,000, and $40,000 a week.
I remember Greg left that job, y'all. Our checks, we were seeing $40,000 a week in commissions, in profits.
But that's tough.
A week.
But I had a promise between me and God.
Right.
So even in that time frame, just working 8, 9 hours sometimes a day, right? And then coming home, going right to work in the office, getting to bed 11, 12, 1, sometimes 2, then rolling over at 5 to get up to go do it again. You don't realize you're working so hard and you're just in that trench, like, because we were having so much fun.
Yeah, we were in a flow.
Right? We were in a flow. And then 6 months later, we looked up and was like, oh my God.
Wow.
Did we just do that? But that 6 months of intensity set us up for the next 10 years.
Yes, it really did.
And that's a big key. Most of us work or try to work our entire life trying to make a living, and we fall short, right? So we work way harder, right, than that. But 6 months, put a 6 in the chat if you'd be willing to put your head down for 6 months. If that means it could change your legacy, right?
Yeah,
like
that's a lot of people saying,
oh, they're ready. They're ready. You guys can do anything. You guys have been, you've had such success, and you've had many offers. You've had many choices that you can do. You can coach. You're an author. You could do a million different things. But why PartnerCo? Like, why right now?
Well, when last company we were in, parted ways. Lenika and I said we weren't getting back into network marketing. At least for a while anyway. We just start doing things with the personal brand and different things like that. But when there was always something on us, that the people, because we had a lot of people that looked at us, were connected to us, had faith in us, and we could not just leave the people.
Yes, like they were like, what are we gonna do?
So when PartnerCo came our way, after examination and looking at it, and we was like, oh my God, this company is the real deal. And I always say that we've been on a 20-year journey to get to PartnerCo. And I tell people that because you always doing that search, because there are thousands upon thousands of network marketing companies out here that somebody can do. But you're looking for the real one. Yeah. And even with our experience, understanding of the industry, experience with building and everything, PartnerCo is just that perfect company in the perfect place the perfect leadership, the perfect corporate staff, the products, everything is just, I mean, we couldn't have planned it any better than being a part of this right now.
Right. And you know what I would also like to say, I remember during the transition, our family came over. So Gregg and Dexter, they're brothers. So Dexter and Tanya, who they're leaders in the company, we were just spending some time together, and we had been talking to Freddie and Nicole, like just really on an intimate level about the transition and so forth. And so like they weren't trying to recruit us. We were just connecting. And then I asked the question, and then we got on. And so it was so funny during that weekend, Destin Time was here while they were showing us the plan. And so I remember Tanya just getting so excited, like, yeah, we're gonna do this. And I remember my mentor, my spiritual mentor, she just was like, well, Nee, if y'all did it before, you could do it again. And so I was asking God, I was like, well, you know, God is going to have to put that desire back in me. Like, because I don't feel like doing this again, right? Because we had put like so much, when you give your all, you know, you put your blood, sweat, and tears in something, and, you know, relationships and connections and the emotional roller coaster, you know, of it all. When you put everything that you know that you can put in something, I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that again. But within like 24 hours, I remember Gregg had already knew. He knew already. But within 24 hours, my desire, it started to come back, and I began to start to dream again. And even about team building. And so, you know, so then Freddie and Nicole, we were meeting with them, and we went to Puerto Rico to meet with Darren and John. And when we got out of the car, you know, after our plane had landed, it was like John picked us up from the airport. He was hugging on us. Like, it was like, okay, we just meeting you, dude. But it was as if we knew him. And then he dropped us all to meet Darren, and Darren is there with his wife and his family, and I was like, wait a minute, I promise you, because I don't know if we have any guests on, or maybe if you're just getting started with PartnerCo, I had a feeling like, okay, this seems like a dream. It does not seem real. This seems like it is too good to be true. Like it just didn't. It seemed just like a fantasy, for real. And I remember, you know, just God just speaking to us, like, I've sent you here to this place. And we launched, and we said we're going to launch. And we launched, and we hit share 2 in a few days, because the team was so excited. We didn't bring a team. A lot of people think let me just say this, because I want you all to tell the people in PartnerCo who think this too, okay? Gregg and I, we did not bring our team of people to PartnerCo with us. Did we bring many frontline leaders who had spent the night over my house eating cheese, bacon, and eggs? Yeah. We brought people who we've been rocking with since 2010. But we have a whole community out there that we had not touched, you all. We know how to launch a business. And with the skills and the knowledge that we learned throughout the years, we took those skills and the knowledge with the people that said that they was going to roll with us, those who were on our front line, and we went to work. And when I remember just being at PartnerCo for a few weeks, we were like, God, the vision is so pure. I would use the word pure. I was like, God is in this thing. And it is a true unicorn company, right? We are different. We don't look like most of what is out there in this industry. And when Gregg said the part about this is what we really had built our career on, the meaning the knowledge, the skill set, mastering all of these years, some pain, great joys, great excitements, but it's been for this. I'm like, this was what I said, and it's like kind of funny because you think that, okay, that's saying when I look back over my life, y'all know, right? When you look back over your life, you can see the dots being connected. And I'm like, you were connecting dots back 5 years ago for PartnerCo now. You were connecting dots back 10 years ago for now. 15 years ago for now. I'm like, and so now you say it is all worth it. When Darren and John was telling us their story, and they were using words like miracle, and that's my language, right? We're marketplace ministers, and it was like the 5-day miracle. And before we left Puerto Rico, and I'm literally in John's kid's bedroom, we're looking at a picture of Jesus on the wall, and his wife is holding my hand, and I'm like, my God, this is different. We're home. We're right where we belong. All of the mockery when we talked about God from the stage, but then they wanted to put that down. They wanted to suppress it. It was all for now. When we showed up to be who we were already meant to be, right? But then they didn't want authenticity. They didn't want that. I said, okay, I see what you're doing. It was all for the now. It was a preparation for the now. And so that's why it was necessary that we said yes again. And that's why, like, your yes, it is necessary, because you never know who's out there praying and that they need a breakthrough. They need a breakthrough in their health. They need a breakthrough in their finances. And it is my personal belief that when we close ourselves up and when we close our hearts up, after the hurt, betrayal, or whatever we may be in life, because top leader or not, you're going to go through the same thing that anybody else is going to go through, right? Then it closes up the blessings for others to also be able to get in that flow and come behind. So why PartnerCo? PartnerCo is different. That's why PartnerCo. PartnerCo is great. It is pure. That's why PartnerCo. And here's the thing, and truth be told, we all know that company that I named before, Amway, that company had God in it. They prayed in those meetings. They wasn't afraid to pull out the Bible. They wasn't trying to shut the voices of those who really love and believe God. And when I saw the founder's wife saying, okay, I said, oh yeah, this is where we're supposed to be. Thank you, God, for sending us to PartnerCo. So that's my PartnerCo.
There's an answer, guys. Guys, throw 100 in the chat if you're feeling this right now. If you're not familiar, these are the founders that Gregg and Lenika are talking about. This is a company that's only been up for 1.5 years, guys. So you're literally looking at this ground floor, got the best products in the world, got the best execs, the best compensation. But the more important thing than all of that, and we do have the best of all of that, it really is the people. Like, it really is the community, right? You need to find your tribe, because if you can show up authentically you, that's how you get into success. So that's really the key. So I guess my last question for now would be this. We can go on for days. There's so much. Thank you for all of your guys' wisdom. Why now? Like, what's got you excited now in this time, in this history in PartnerCo?
Wow. Well, you know, we've been with PartnerCo for a little bit over a year now, right? And PartnerCo actually did its first launch February of last year, right? So we came in right when they launched, but PartnerCo is a $350 million startup, right? So what I mean when I say that, you got all of these longevity products, these existing products, they're proven on the market. They've been out here. People know what they are and people know they work. But then you got a company that just formulated a little bit around 1.5 years ago, right? So it's a debt-free company. It's a solid foundational company. So you got the beauty of it is you've got a startup with a solid foundation, right? So why PartnerCo? Why right now? This is the perfect time to be a part of this, because it's like we're just really getting started. We're getting those gears running where they're in sync and running perfectly, right? So yeah, and that's the perfect illustration that you just brought up. We are still in that place where we haven't even seen, even though we got some growth happening, but we still haven't even seen that first explosion, right? We haven't even seen that huge hyper growth. And because when that hyper growth come, all of those people that were in the business and putting their hands to the work in this stage of the business, those are your future millionaires. Those are the future 7 and 8 figure earners that's going to come out. But it's those that are putting the work in now to build that solid foundation for their business. So it's just that perfect timing, right? Because we always talk that thing about timing in this industry. It becomes so cliche. You know, you hear people talk, oh, this is the perfect time. This is the perfect time. You got to get started now. But we really are in that bubble where that's that perfect time right before we get into a larger hit of growth, right? Because, you know, you're going to grow in cycles, but we're having some good growth now, but we haven't even hit that big boom, right? And then as I'm even looking at PartnerCo, and this is just based on experience in this industry, we're going to have several booms coming, right? Here in the coming years. In the next 5 years, it's just going to be some huge growth in this company. So I'm excited about it.
Wow. Well, guys, such an honor. We are so blessed to have you as partners here. We're so thankful. Who here is grateful that the Scotts said yes? Right? Give us a wave or put a 5 in the chats below.
Thank you.
I'm grateful.
And I just want to share one more thing, because our goal is, if you're here brand new, I hope you can feel it, right? I hope you can sense there's something different here.
Yes.
I observe, I love studying success. I love success leaves clues, right? And I just love watching the Scotts move. I love watching you guys as parents. I love watching you guys as entrepreneurs, as husband, wife. And I believe the big secret of what's lended you to success and is continuing to do so, God first, and also your love for people. As well. I just want to end today with this story, because this really is the X factor in business, right?
Yeah.
We're out in a couple months ago, there was a great event out in Florida, February time. And we walk in, and you guys are just so busy, right? There's so many things that are going on. And one of the first things that you did is you spoke with me and my wife, Becky. You knew that we had struggles. We had a 5-year infertility journey. And you said, I want to pray for you guys. Like, through this event, I want to pray for you guys. And it was like, you don't have to, right? But they do. And I want to let everyone be encouraged here. If you want to win big, love the most, whether it's upline, downline, crossline, it doesn't matter. It's a people business, right? You love people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you prayed with us, and it was a whole PartnerCo thing, and it was beautiful. It was broadcasted. And of course, later on, just a couple months later, we were just in Bahamas together. And it was so special that we did our gender reveal. And this picture means so much to me and Becky personally, because well, she's beautifully pregnant now, and we know it's because you guys had the obedience to pray, and everyone in the family here came together. And it's family, right? The tagline of PartnerCo is better together.
Better together. And
that's why you're succeeding, and that's why this company is succeeding, and that's how everyone here can succeed to the next level too. So love more. So Gregg and Lenika, we just want to absolutely honor you. Just thank you so much. Pumped up, fired up. The journey continues.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, James, for having us here tonight. Just to share for a few minutes with everybody, and thank you all for just getting on, listening to us. We're excited about everything that's happening here in PartnerCo, guys. So if you are up here and you're just listening there, look, join us in this journey. And most important of all, have fun.
Have fun. And I want to leave with words. Normally I'm very emotional, but I'm about to kind of shift. Know your numbers. You know, at the end of the day, it is still a business. So look at, you know, what you're doing, your personal production, your leadership production, your team production, but you must know where you're at, and you have to be able to set goals, realistic goals, so that you can get to where you want to go. So know your numbers. Thanks so much, James. Give our love to Becky tonight as well.